Hi, Patrick, Aziz, and Mia. This is my regression module 2. I'm Bailey Hill, so I will get started. So mediation is an antecedent, a mediator, and a consequence, or an indirect pathway of causality. So when we're doing a mediation, we're looking to assess the A that is predicting the C, or the X that has to go through mediation before reaching Y. When compared to moderation, they both impact Y, but influence X in different ways. So this is my first analysis for mediation. So I computed a new Y using RV normal and adding it to Y, RV normal being 0 and 1. I created a new Y, other Y is known as NY, which is right here. I ran a linear regression through Hayes process, which then gave me a coding matrix. For outcome M, the X coefficient is the A in the mediation, or the relationship between X and M. So this is 1.1494 right here, and a significant p-value, which is highlighted right there. For the outcome variable ny, the X coefficient is the B, or the relationship between M and Y. So that's the 1.0668, which is right here, and then a significant p-value, which is highlighted there. For the direct effect between X and Y, or C prime, the direct effect is not significant. Although this doesn't matter according to Barron and Kenny, as C prime is not on the list, so we can run a regression analysis, and then we can determine C and its significance. So then I calculated the confidence interval for the indirect effect using bootstrapping for the indirect effect of X and Y, or C. And the confidence interval was between 1.0095 and 1.4444. Let's see. We can use bootstrapping according to Preacher and Hayes because it does not impose the assumption of normality on the sampling distribution. So here's my regression analysis. My C was 1.114 right here, which is significant, and there is an effect between X and Y. So we can rule out mediation for this first analysis because there is a significant effect between X and Y, but not on when there's a mediation between the two. So this is a partial mediation here because the B path is not significant. So here's my second analysis. This is my second mediation to produce a situation that does not have an indirect effect. I created a new Y right here, which is equal to X added to RV normal, which is 0 and 1. My A, which is X, and C prime, which is M, relationships are both significant. And then our confidence interval includes 0, and then there's no indirect effect, so we can rule out mediation in this case. Going down to my regression that I ran for this here, significance for M is not significant, but X is for NY1. So next is moderation, and moderation can be explained as the effect of the relationship between X and Y, but they also have direct effects on the outcome. So variables must be centered when testing moderators as well. And then for the optional reading, the other Barron and Kenny article defines moderation as a qualitative or quantitative variable that affects the direction and or the strength of the relationship between an independent or predictive variable and a dependent or criterion variable. So if we go down to our first moderation, so using the data provided for module 2, I created an X1 and X2. So here, using RV normal and also a dichotomous X2, which left X1 continuous. I used the checks and X's to create a new Y, which allowed for me to compare my data to the 16 plots for moderation analysis. X1 and X2 dichotomous must also be centered and then multiplied to get the interaction variable. And then after that, I ran a regression analysis with my Y and the centered X1 and the centered dichotomous X2. So in this case, I came up with check X, check, check, with B not being significant, B1 not being significant because the slope stays at 0, B2 being significant because the slope intercepts originate in different places on the y-axis, B3 being significant because there are no differences in the slope. And then after running our regression analysis, we can see that the p-values are significant as well. Going on to my next moderation. So again, using the data provided for module 2, I created X1 and X2 using RV normal, and then used the checks and X's to create a new Y, so check, check, XX in this case. which allowed me to compare my data to the 16 given plots. So right here, um, for the moderation analysis, so my x1 and x2 dichotomous must be centered and then multiplied to get my interaction. And then I found that B naught is significant, B1 is significant, and then B2 and B3 are both not significant. Moving on to my third moderation. So I did the same thing using the data. I created an x1 and x2. I used the checks nexus again, which I had x check xx to create a new y, which allowed me to compare my data again. And so this is ny3. And then I also ran a regression analysis again as well. So in this case, I found that B naught is not significant, B1 is significant, B2 is not significant, as well as B3 being not significant as well. So these are my 3 moderation analysis, and that is the conclusion of my second module. Thank you.